7:03. Start with a pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to start with our public hearing. May you get a motion to open the public hearing at 7:04?
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay. The public hearing is going to be on local law number 1 of 2020, the Battery Energy Storage System Model Law. Anybody have any comments or questions regarding that local law?
Bob, if I may,
Yep.
I just want to note 2 or 3 changes in sections.
Yeah, thank you. There were some, we had to make, there were some,
There's 3 references to town board that should be replaced. Thank you, Dave. There's 3 references to the town board that should be replaced with planning board, and they are in sections 5B, 7A2, and 7A4. Planning board, town board was changed to planning board, and all other sections of it, those 3 just happened to get missed. So before this is published, those will be corrected.
those will be on the website once those corrections are made. Okay, is there anyone with any comments? All right. Hearing no comments, may I get a motion to close the public hearing at 7:05?
I'll move it. I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Okay. May I get a motion to adopt the minutes from February 20, 2020?
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussions?
I don't know, Dina, did you change that one sentence?
I did.
There was a sentence, like, she had me quoting the same gibberish, and I don't really say
Oh,
gibberish, but
okay. So do we need any further,
I don't think so.
No, I
It's
fixed
just
it.
changes?
I fixed it.
okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. We'll move on to citizens' comments. Anybody with any comments for us tonight? Tell us how well we're doing? No? How bad we're doing? Okay. Supervisors' comments. All right, we've been working on a lot of things. We just, if you weren't here for the work session, we'll go over with some of the motions, but we're working on a 5-year plan. The Highway Committee met, and we're working on a 5-year plan to bring up the highway equipment to a more sustainable level. The highway equipment now is pretty old and tired, and we don't want to get in this type of situation that the city got into where you have to purchase a whole bunch of new equipment all at one time. So this plan addresses it, so after 5 years, if things all go the way that we're hoping they go, we should have our large equipment, highway equipment, all under 8 years old, right, Mr. Hall? And by doing that, that means that the equipment is, almost all the equipment is always under warranty, which lowers our overall cost to operate that equipment. So that's one of the things we're working on. I also attended the Onondaga County Fire Breakfast with the state and county legislators at the Lakeside Fire Department. That's an annual breakfast that the fire departments have, and they get together with their local legislators to discuss issues that fire service has, and it gets all the legislators together so we can have a conversation about that. That was at the Lakeside Fire Department. Mr. Rivazigno, Mr. Yeager, and I attended a meeting with the town supervisors, county executive, and other town supervisors at the Clay Town Hall regarding sewer consolidation that you may or may not heard of that the county is trying to accomplish. And I think it was a very informative meeting, and I think that's something that it's something that the county executive is going to move forward on, because what he is trying to accomplish is, with an old infrastructure, sewer infrastructure, we don't have enough, there isn't enough, they don't have enough usage for the plant, so they need more. What's the term I'm looking for?
So we're trying to keep clean water,
Yeah.
stormwater out of the wastewater treatment plant, so we're not
Correct.
paying to treat stormwater.
Right, and what that does, by doing that, when businesses want to move into the area, that's what they look for. Can the place that they're moving into, the community they're moving into, handle the type of water and disposal that they're going to require? And by consolidating the sewer systems, that's what they're hoping to accomplish. The safety committee and I met, and we started working on the emergency management plan for the town. And this is just a preliminary meeting, so it's in the early stages of it, but we are working towards developing an emergency management plan for the town. While I'm talking about that, I know the county executive, tomorrow I had a meeting planned for issues with our town, but he's working with the health department on a countywide plan to deal with this coronavirus. And once they develop something, I talked with people from the county, it should be pushed down to the town, so that should incorporate our town as well. There was a press conference, if you didn't see it, with the Mayor of Baldwinsville, Legislator May, Supervisor Claude Sykes, and the county executive, and there was a $300,000 plus grant that the legislature and the county executive awarded the village, and there's going to be substantial facades that they're going to be working on in the village, which would, if you've been through the village of Camillus, they did that a few years ago, and it really upgraded the looks of the village. And there's at least, I think there were 7 buildings that applied for the grant, and it was the owners had to provide, I think, 25% of it, and the county provided the rest. But it should really make the big improvement in the village. Trooper Wicks, who happens to be my son, and I provided some active shooter training for Lysander residents, which was hosted by the Radisson Community Association at the Aspen House last night. About 25 residents attended, and they seem to like what we provided. And in the future, if there's other community groups that want that, it's called CRACE training, and you can find that online, CRASE, Civilian Response to Active Shooter Training. It's free for any community groups that want it, and the trooper and I would be happy to do that for other community organizations as well. That's all I have. How about you, Mr. Diamond?
I'd like to take a minute. Supervisor Wicks already mentioned it, but I want to highlight and thank our highway superintendent for his outstanding work. Putting a 5-year plan in place, it's really thinking long-term, and most of our highway fleet is about as old as I am, so it'll be nice to bring the fleet into a more stable age. So, thank you very much. Other than that, let's stick to the agenda.
Yeah, I don't have any comments tonight.
Yeah, I would just like to mention, I'm sad with the fact that we had a fire at Female Charitable Organization's headquarters. I'm sure people have read about it or heard about it. Just so people know that that organization is one of the oldest of its kind in our country. It's over 200 years old, and it's right here in Baldwinsville. It's a great organization. I'm sure they'll get back on their feet soon, but I just wanted everyone involved with it and everyone else to know that, it wasn't a great thing that happened, and I hope they recover quickly. Other than that, thank you to everyone who showed up tonight, and thank you for watching.
Last week or last meeting, I mentioned that I was gonna pay for a little girl to go to the GEMS program. I did receive some letters today. I received 3 of them, so keep them coming, little girls. Also, by doing so, 3 people reached out to me and said they're also gonna participate in what I'm doing and sponsor a girl as well too, which is great news. So keep that coming as well, so appreciate it. That's all I got.
Mr. Rivas-Signo. Okay, if you didn't know, we held interviews with a number of law firms to just evaluate where we were going and what we were paying for legal fees, and Mr. Rivas-Signo was awarded the contract. So, Mr. Burbanchuk.
Scholarships for GEMS Camp are coming in. You just heard that. Also, too, we have a commission meeting this coming Monday on the 9th at 6 o'clock. If anybody's interested in attending, we meet for about an hour to talk about parks-related items, things that are coming up, programs that are coming up. So if you're interested in coming to the commission meeting, it's this Monday at 6 o'clock, right here at Lysander Town Hall. At the work session, we talked about the Central New York Parks and Recreation Society awarded the Parks Department with an exceptional design for the spray park, and we won at the Central New York level. Our nomination will now be sent to the state for that conference down in April that we're going to be voting on. Hopefully we win at the state level as well. But it's a nice recognition locally here, voted on by our peers in the Central New York area, and it's a nice honor to receive. I know Al Yeager won over at the town of Sullivan for one of his projects, and this is another one in his cap, so I just want to say thank you, Al, for all your hard work on that. We have an Easter brunch coming up on March 29th at the Fireside Inn from 10 to 2. Tickets are now available. They can go online, register online. It's right here in the Fireside. They'll have an opportunity to do an Easter egg hunt and have photos with the Easter Bunny and a nice breakfast at the Fireside Inn. And we set an official date for the park to be open on April 18th. Is our official opening date. People are calling, asking when it's going to be open. We're starting to get nice weather. We have a lot of people visiting with their dogs, so we set the date for April 18th. Will be our official opening date for the park. Thank you.
You know, the only thing I would like to add to what Tony said is, having been in that world, recognition by the New York State Rec and Park Society is a pretty significant thing, because that's a society that's comprised or composed, you know, from all the parks departments in New York State, including New York City and Long Island. So to get an award from that group is a nice feather in the town of Lysander's cap.
Absolutely.
Good work.
Mr. Holt?
Nothing other than maybe winter's over, maybe it's not. And we'll take our efforts to the roads, so.
How's the salt budget? What was that?
We'll know soon enough. Mr. Woolsey, you have anything from codes tonight?
It's been a pretty busy last 2 months. Besides our normal wear and tear of our daily activities, we got 2 extremely large projects going on. And unfortunately, we've suffered some major incidents. We've had 2 house fires in the last 2 months that were total devastation to both houses and a tractor trailer to a house. So we're diligently working on trying to get them families back in their places. One's scheduled to start demo immediately.
Okay, is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks. Mr. Yeager?
So it's that time of year again. I'll be posting for 2020 summer engineering intern position. I'll post that on the town website, on the job, the Dina's board, and at the highway garage, and be notifying local colleges that have engineering students that a position's available. So if you know anybody that's a local engineering student that's looking for a summer internship, have them send their resume my way.
Mr. Rowley?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Ms. Falcone?
Yes, I didn't want to interrupt you earlier, but I just wanted to mention the legal notice for the public hearing.
You should have interrupted.
Well, I won't read the whole thing because it's standard, but the legal notice was published in the Post-Standard on February 25th, 2020.
All right, thank you.
One other thing, I believe we need to pass a resolution for Mr. Rivizigno, so that we can have him change him from monthly to annually, and with the salary, the monthly salary.
Do we don't need to do that tonight, do we?
Can we do it next time?
Do it next time, I mean, it's,
Okay. I mean, we do it at the
monthly's gonna be
organizational
the
meeting.
same
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
yearly.
month
Yeah,
up,
yeah, pro bono.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put it together for next time.
That's fine.
For next time? Next meeting? Okay, that's all.
Okay. We'll move on to the regular agenda items. Item A, whereas the seeker has been determined a negative declaration, may get a motion to adopt the battery energy storage system local law for the town of Lysander.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. May I get a motion to approve Tony Birkinshaw to attend the annual New York State Parks and Recreation Society Conference in Tarrytown, New York, April 26th through the 28th, 2020. The cost of the conference is $300 and the cost of the room is $354.56. Meals will be provided by the conference or purchased if necessary. Mileage will be reimbursed accordingly.
I'll
Do we
move
need
it.
to change the mileage, the wording on this to rental?
Do we need to change if we get a rental car? Should that be included or?
You can just say mileage or rental car, whichever's
Okay,
appropriate.
okay, so the motion at the end will add mileage or rental car will be reimbursed accordingly. Can I get a motion?
I think we're always.
Yep, I moved it.
I'll second it.
Second? Okay. Any discussion?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. May I get a motion to approve the purchase of a new spring rider playground equipment from Miracle Recreation in the amount of $1,359.11, freight included, for Lysander Park, which was budgeted for the year 2020.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. May I get a motion to approve the purchase of a 2020 Exmark 60-inch zero-turn mower from All Weather Power Equipment in the amount of $8,500 for Lysander Park, equipment budgeted in 2020.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. May I get a motion to approve the highway pavement management plan for 2020?
I'll move it.
I'll second
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. May I get a motion, and this is, there's going to be a change on this. Item F should read, it's going to change to motion to approve a 4-year financing agreement for the 2021 Western Star 4700 previously ordered in the amount of $45,000 per year for the highway department. Why this changed, Mr. Rowley caught this, and we didn't want it to look like we were ordering an additional truck. This was one that we already said we were going to purchase. This is just going into how we're going to pay for that.
But is it 4 or 5 years? Because on this chart it says 5 years.
Yeah, it's 4.
Well, it's a
Because
down
we're gonna-
payment. The first year is a down payment.
First year's a down payment, so we'll only have to finance the following 4 years.
it. I'll move it. Did you read it as you wanted?
Yes, that's the way it.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Okay. May I get a motion to approve the purchase of an F-350 four-door cabin chassis along with 2 F-250 trucks in the amount of $39,000 with the trade-in of trucks number 2 and number 10 for the highway department.
I'll move it.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Okay, what this,
Okay, I was gonna say, a little explanation.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, this is budgeted for. This has to do with the motion right above it, as far as, we already approved spending the amount of money for the plow truck. We were gonna buy it outright. Instead, F, G, and H, what they really do is they spread the money out in another way, and that's why the financing agreement is different than buying it outright.
Correct.
Is that clear enough?
Yep, and what it does is this helps us get to that 5-year plan where we have that equipment that's under 8 years old, which should lower our repair cost and keep the vehicles under warranty. And that's part of this plan. So, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. I get a motion to approve the purchase of a new 2017 New Holland tractor with Alamo roadside boom mower in the amount of $116,900 for the highway department.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? The only thing I'll mention about this, you see, it's a 2017, but it's a brand-new mower, and it carries all the warranties and everything with it. So it's brand new out of the box. But what we're getting a substantial savings of over $11,000 by buying this motor. Not only that, we're able to, we can get that right away, right, Mr. Holm?
I can have it in a day.
We can have it in a day, so he'll be able to use that this year. So the other mower that we have, it would require substantial maintenance if we were to use that this year, which we don't have to do. So that's an additional savings that, or a cost that we won't have to incur. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. May you get a motion to authorize the supervisor to attend accounting principles and procedures training held in the office, by the office of the New York State Comptroller in the town of Camillus, May 27 through 29, 2020, in the amount of $85.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion?
Are you gonna become the deputy comptroller?
Well, I need a little bit more,
He'll be taking my spot.
yeah, a little more expertise in this area, and Mr. Rowley and I went over it, and went over the curriculum, and, yeah, and he said it was well worth me going to, so.
It never hurts to get a little training back from that area.
Exactly. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. All right, this is going to, we filled in the blanks here, so the motion will read, I get a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the proposal from Mary Jo Gray in the amount of $500 to perform the appraisal of the property associated with the town of Lysander, Richard Whitney land swap.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Okay, if you recall, we're looking at swapping some land with Mr. Whitney for some land that really isn't that usable for park purposes, and trading with him for some more prime land that we can definitely use for that. That's what this is about. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. May I get a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign a proposal from Moore Land Surveying, PC, in the amount of $3,950 to prepare the subdivision map for the property associated with the town of Lysander, Richard Whitney land swap.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to state, there's no relation. The Moore Land Surveying Company, I don't know them, and they're not related.
All right.
The only thing I would add, as to be part of the record, we discussed, and I know it'll happen, but just for the benefit of the folks out there wondering what we're doing, the land that we own currently fronts Route 48, and the land we're buying, we're not buying, but getting in exchange is a much prettier piece of property. But one of the caveats we're putting into this this land swap is that the owner, Whitney, of our existing land cannot develop that land for, it has to remain forever wild, which I think is important.
But, Mr. Wicks, if I may, the only other thing that we may want to add is both of these resolutions will be paid for out of the fee in lieu of Parkland account.
Okay, that's a good point. So with the in lieu of Parks Fund, that's where the money's coming for, to pay for this, so it's not any additional tax dollars. So did we have,
We have
unanimous? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, this is going to change a little bit, and the reason that we're changing this is we have to come up, this is regarding a community block grant, a 5-year plan, and we only have till, I think, April 3rd, right, Mr. Yeager? Come up with that April 3rd, so it's a short time frame, and we have to come up with 5 years of proposals on it. So in order to give us a little bit more time, we changed the date. So the motion will read, may I get a motion to hold a public hearing on Thursday, April 2nd, 2020, at 7 p.m. in the Lysander Town Hall to hear those for or against the community development application and block grant 5-year plan. The town clerk is authorized to advertise for the same.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. May I get a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the contract with Cowley Associates for the maintenance of Engine 91 website database annual maintenance fee in the amount of $2,500, $500 per year for 5 years.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Okay, this is a, we host this Engine 91, and it's used by the fire departments to schedule their personnel, and there's a substantial savings to them by us hosting this. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, we added item N, and it's a motion, can I get a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the New York State DEC petroleum bulk storage permit application renewal, and the town comptroller to issue a check in the amount of $500 for the permit renewal fee.
I'll move it.
I'll second that.
Can you explain that, Mr. Yeager?
Yeah, this is a 5-year permit. Our permit's existing. It expires on March 15th. So this is just a continuation of the permit to operate our fueling system at the highway garage.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No,
Oh.
sorry.
Abstentions? Motion carried. Any new business from the board members? No? Okay. Anybody see any reason for an executive session tonight? Okay. Now you get a motion to adjourn at 7:31.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?